The European Championships, a competition that has been labelled by many as the toughest international tournament, tougher than the World Cup and so on. Now, it has almost been a week since the tournament started, and it would be unfair to say that it has not delivered. So today we break down what has happened in the tournament till date, all the major teams and how they have performed, those teams that have surprised us, of course the Wonder Kids, and some major moments from the tournament and what can we expect going forward. So let's begin. Even before the tournament started, there was a crazy buzz around it, thanks to Kylian Mbappe. He said that European Championships are more difficult to win than the World Cup, and like anything nowadays, it was a major point of discussion. Many try to prove their point, and many are still debating, but we are not here to discuss which amongst the two is the toughest. Although I must say that because of the whole debate, the Euro started trending even before it started. But honestly, this tournament doesn't need any more hype, because the matches that are happening are full of excitement. Going into this tournament, this is how the favourites look like according to the bookies. England and France were the favourites to win the competition, followed by Germany, Portugal, Spain and Italy. Then came Belgium, Netherlands, Croatia and Denmark. These teams ideally were the top 10. And now looking at how the teams have played their first matches, we're gonna make some changes to this list. Starting with England, they had their first game versus Serbia. Now player for player, England has one of the best squad in the Euros, maybe after France. With players like Bellingham, Kane, Saka, Phil Foden, Declan Rice, Cole Palmer, England has to be one of the favourites. But coming into this tournament, their results weren't that great, like they drew against Belgium and there were losses against Brazil and Iceland. However, we should remember that they finished in relatively higher positions in previous tournaments, and with the squad they have, there are expectations for sure. And they were to face Serbia, who themselves have a decent squad. Mitrovic, Vlahovic, Milinkovic-Savic, Jovic, Dusan Tadic, etc. They weren't going to be an easy opponent, and that's exactly how they were in their first match. England started the match well, and Serbia in initial minutes offered close to nothing. And then who else but Bellingham scored a header from a deflected cross from Saka. It was a clever run and a hard-fought header. Bellingham physically overpowered the defenders to reach the ball. It was a good goal. The first half, I'd say, was dominated by England. There were other chances as well, like the one that Kyle Walker had, and Serbia was not much of a threat. Mitrovic had a shot around the 20th minute, and then there were some half-hearted attempts, but that's it. But in the second half, that changed. Serbia was the team that were dominant, and England were on the back foot, trying to hit them on the counter. Serbia had a penalty appeal, which was disallowed after the VAR check. Serbia was trying to take advantage of the height of their players with regular crosses whipped in, but they could not score and the game ended with England winning by 1 goal. My takeaways from this was England's midfield lacked something. Trent played in the middle with Bellingham and Rice, and it felt like they had a lack of synchrony. So England needs improvement there. They can make some tweaks by changing the position of the players, or they also have players like Kobbie Mainoo and Gallagher. So I believe England can have good Euros. And just as I said that, England played a disappointing draw in their second match. Now England on paper is a better team than Denmark, but Denmark, to be honest, looked the better team today. They had more shots, more possession, more passes, more corners. Denmark more than England were looking like the team who could win this match. Match started pretty evenly. Denmark had the first chance with Højlund, then England had a good opportunity when Phil Foden's shot went past Danish defenders. Then in the 18th minute, Christensen forgot how to handle the ball and gifted it to Kyle Walker. And his cross was deflected luckily and fell right in front of Harry Kane's feet, and he had an easy tap-in. England scored the first goal of the match. But despite that, the Danish team was looking sharp, going forward with intent, making some clinical passes and were looking threatening. And rightfully, they got the goal they deserved through Morten Hjulmand. And what a strike that was. A low shot from 25 yards out that hit the bar and went inside, leaving Pickford with no chance. Højbjerg had another attempt before the first half ended, and this story of Denmark's dominance continued in the second half as well. Now England also had chances, but the difference is, Denmark every time when they went forward, they looked like a team. It felt like they have a goal in them. But with England, there is a lack of synchrony. The quality in their teamwork is not up to the mark. We could see Trent making a bursting run through the middle and going nowhere. Bellingham finding free spaces in the box, but no one is looking at him. Saka, when he's getting an opportunity, taking the wrong decision. Even the goal they scored was because of a mistake made by Denmark. The low shot from Foden that hit the post, and that pass from Jude Bellingham to find Watkins. Nothing apart from these two incidents made me feel that England might score a goal. Honestly, England will reach the round of 16, but I don't see them going ahead in this tournament. It's like Southgate needed more time to find the balance in this team. And the difference is, just like how with Germany, the coach has the clarity as to what approach he wants to take with the players he has, and with England, it feels like Southgate doesn't have this clarity as to what his best 11 is or how he wants to use them. However, I still hope England improves and goes long way in this tournament. Next up, we talk about France. France has arguably the best squad in the Euros, and for many, they are the favourites to win this competition. Their run before the first match saw them draw against Canada, there were wins against Luxembourg and Chile, and a loss against Germany in March. But still, France is and has always been a favourite to win this competition, and they faced Austria, and what opponent they proved out to be. See, we have seen France playing under Deschamps, and we know that they won't play the most beautiful football, but it will be about the result. And that's exactly how the game went. Austria were keeping it tight, but Mbappe was trying to find spaces and made runs, which were mostly held back by Austria, who themselves were looking dangerous. Sabitzer gave a cheeky ball to Baumgartner, who was in a great position to score, but Mignan came up with a crucial save. Then Mbappe got the ball on the right side of penalty box and made a dangerous run, and then crossed the ball, which by mistake was deflected inside the goal by Max Wöber, who was trying to clear the ball. Anyways, after some time, France had one of the best chances of the game when Rabiot sent the ball towards Mbappe, whose run could not be matched by Austrian defenders, and he was one-on-one with the keeper and he missed. It was such a good opportunity to kill the game, but Mbappe could not convert. Then Austrians were aggressive. I must appreciate what Ralf Rangnick has been doing. He has improved this team so much. Before this game, they drew against Switzerland and beat Turkey, Slovakia and Serbia. And even in this game, they kept France under control for the major part and also looked threatening in front of the goal. So I must appreciate the efforts put in by Ralf Rangnick and Austria. Also shout out to N'Golo Kante. I think he was France's best player, and France could have easily been a goal down if Kante didn't make that run. Also, Mbappe broke his nose in the end, so going forward, you can see him wearing a mask. Now Germany. They played their opening match against Scotland and looked like the team of the tournament. Yes, they were killing it. I remember when the match started, one of Scotland defenders, I think it was Tierney, who won a duel against a German player and celebrated it. And I think that was the only positive moment for Scotland for the whole match. They were not good. Germany obviously was dangerous because they pressed like animals. But Scotland, before they could make a couple of passes, the ball was snatched by the Germans and they would attack without any breaks. Florian Wirtz had a good game. He scored the opener, but Musiala showed his class. I think from the first round of matches, he has been the best player. He was playing a level above compared to the others. The ball was stuck to his feet and he was progressing with it. His passing was on point and he scored a goal on top of it. What a performance. And talking about performances, this German team is looking dangerous. Nagelsmann is cooking something good. Now before the Euro started, they had a draw against Ukraine but won against France, Austria and Greece. And if you remember, this team had a disastrous run in the World Cup. But Nagelsmann, it seems, has found a good balance in the team with the quality he has. Players like Havertz, Musiala, Wirtz, Sané are obviously a threat. And they get support from players like Gundogan, Joshua Kimmich and Mittelstadt. And with Toni Kroos behind them controlling the game, I think Germany is going to be one of the most adaptable and toughest teams to beat. And I'm going to back that after Germany's second game as well. I recorded the earlier part before the second game happened, but after that, I'm more confident in this German team. Their second match was against Hungary, and no doubt they gave a good fight, way better than Scotland. But Germany seems to be a team that knows what they want to do and does that on the pitch. Hungary had chances. They tested Neuer this time around, but he pulled off some good saves. Hungary surprisingly played better against Germany than they did against Switzerland, which on paper is a lesser team than Germany. The Hungarians were a threat on the counter and also tried to dink some balls over the midfield. Szoboszlai had some good attempts saved by Neuer, so the Hungarians were asking questions, but the German players had answers for every Hungarian threat. This match showed that Germany will be pushing teams. They want to be dominant, a team that controls the game, and their players are well equipped for that. Now one thing that I would say though, is when Hungary caught them on the break, Germany looked a little vulnerable because most of the players are playing up ahead, and in case of a quick counter, they can be left open. But again, they have Tah and Rudiger to cover their back, which to be honest are great options. Now it'd be interesting to see how will they defend against a team which has some quality forwards. But for now, Germany have already qualified for round of 16, and this is the only downside that I can see in this team so far. And yes, I will talk about Musiala at length. I will have a section dedicated to the Wonder Kids. But if you're finding the video interesting so far, a like would be much appreciated. Now moving on to Spain. Spain has always been a good team. Their style of football has been such that in their day, they are capable of beating any team. But before the Euro started, they lost against Colombia, they drew against Brazil, and won by scoring 5 goals against Andorra and Northern Ireland. So no one knew what they could be on a given day, and honestly, not many people had Spain as their favourite to win the Euros. But after the first match, that perception might have changed. See, Group B is the group of death with Spain, Croatia and Italy. And out of all the teams that we have mentioned so far, Spain had the toughest opponent in their first game. Croatia has been one of the most consistent teams in previous tournaments, and both these teams were also the finalists of the Nations League, which of course was won by Spain last year. But about Croatia, see, Dalic has been their coach for the last 6 years, and with players like Modric, Kovacic, Brozovic and more, they are an experienced squad and have consistently performed in World Cups and the Euros. And Spain, with a new coach, new system, and players like Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Nico Williams, they are a young and exciting team, and this match was supposed to be a good competition but ended up being one-sided. Croatia did start well with that Budimir opportunity, but then the Spaniards were dominant. Morata had a clean finish from the left, and then a goal by Fabian Ruiz made it 2-0 for Spain. Croatia was trying to give a good fight. In fact, they had more opportunities, but they could not finish any, while Spain was clinical with their finishing. Yamal with a sublime assist, converted beautifully by Carvajal, and Spain were already 3 up by the time first half ended. And in the second half, Croatia came with an intent to score, but they were unlucky. Firstly, there was that scrambling in front of the goal, then a chance from open play, then a penalty which was saved, then a goal which was called offside. Croatia just couldn't score. Lack of a proven forward like Mandzukic was glaring. But for me, the major problem that Croatia has is their 2 central defenders. See, Guardiola is the best defender they have, but he plays on the right side. And centrally, Croatia's defense lacked quality. While Spain, on the other hand, with Nacho and Lenormand, had a commanding defensive pairing. Then they have Carvajal and Cucurella on the sides, with Rodri as a defensive midfielder. So the defensive structure of this team is very responsible, and they looked great in the first match. And again, Lamine Yamal showing up at this young age means Spain has a strong attacking threat for now and for many years to come. But again, I'll be talking about him later. And not only about him, but about Nico Williams as well, because Spain's second match against Italy happened today, and what a threat he proved out to be. Spain vs Italy was a caging match, and for the most part of it, it looked like it will end up a 0-0 draw. Spain, for obvious reasons, looked the better team out of the two. They had 59% possession and made 20 attempts on goal. Italy was mostly defending the whole game, but their attack was lackluster. There were no goal-scoring avenues, it seemed, for Italy, although they got some chances through set pieces, but they weren't able to score. Spain defended well, and if you look at them, they have a strong defense, a strong midfield, they progress the ball well, and also do well without the ball. My only concern with Spain is their finishing. Morata is not a clinical finisher, while players like Ferran Torres, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal are not proper goal scorers. Anyways, they will have some time to figure that out, as they have topped their group and will play in the round of 16. And I would unfortunately have to end this video here because it's already too long. In the next videos we talk about the remaining teams. I wanted to talk about the teams that have surprised us like Romania or Turkey. So we'll do that in the next videos. I'll make a separate video on the Wonder Kids and about some interesting moments from the Euros so far. So stay tuned, subscribe to Football Ledger, share your thoughts, I'll respond to every single comment. Like this video and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.